Hello students, I hope you are all fine and in good health. In this audio presentation, I will be discussing editorial letters. Once again with you all, I will be revising editorial letters. Editorial letters, it is related with advanced creative writing skills, and as you can see, I have given the heading editorial letters, and in the next line I have written guidelines and examples. I will be discussing a few guidelines related with editorial letter, and obviously some examples also I will be discussing. So dear students, let's start. Now, the first of all, we should know something about the format of an editorial letter. So, see, it is written the format of a letter to the editor of a newspaper is as follows. Now, there are some points that you all have to remember. First of all, sender's address. The address and contact details of the sender are written here. Include an email and phone number if required, then only an email and phone number is required, or if mentioned in the question. If it is mentioned, then only it has to be mentioned, otherwise not needed. Date, very important. The date is written below the sender's address after leaving one line, or you can say after leaving one space. Receiving editor's address, very important. The address of the recipient of the mail, that is the editor, is written here. Subject of the letter, very important, this part. The main purpose of the letter forms the subject. What is the main purpose? What is the main motive of the letter? That actually constitutes the subject of the letter. It must be written in one line. It must convey the matter for which the letter is written. It should be one liner, but it should actually convey the matter for which the letter has been written. Now, salutation, normally sir, respected sir, madam. In this way, the salutation can be done. Body of the letter. Remember, dear students, the body of the letter is divided into three paragraphs. Paragraph 1, introduce yourself and the purpose of writing the letter in brief. That will be discussed in the first paragraph. In the second paragraph, you give your detail of the matter, what exactly you are about to write, on which topic you are about to write. And paragraph number 3, conclude by mentioning what you expect from the editor. For example, you may want him to highlight the issue in his newspaper or magazine. That one you have to write in the third paragraph. That means what you expect. You already you have highlighted the problem. Now what you exactly expect from the editor, what the editor should do, what you want him to do with the letter that you have written. Do you want him to publish it? Do you want this particular social problem to be highlighted by him? And how it can be highlighted? Obviously, if he or she publishes it in his or her editorial column. And finally, the last one is obviously the complimentary closing. That is something very important. Now, in short, as you can see, there is an image been given here where the structure and other things are given. Sender's address, if required, then email and phone number, if required. I have mentioned it if required, otherwise not needed. Date, it should be below, and one space has to be there. We should leave actually one space or one line. Receiving editor's address, very important. Subject of the letter, it has to be written also. Salutation, sir, respected sir, madam. This way the salutation has to be done. Then the body of the letter, as I told you all right now only, that divided into three paragraphs. Paragraph number 1, introduce yourself and the purpose of writing the letter. Paragraph number 2, as I told you, detail of the topic. And paragraph number 3, conclusion or ending. Finally, there will be a complimentary closing, and it will be followed up with sender's name, signature, and finally designation. These things are very important. If you can remember this structure, it becomes so easy. Now, few examples I am about to discuss with you all. See, this is actually an example that is related with undue burden on school children, and that burden is the burden of education on school children. Very important, socially relevant topic. So, how to start? At the very beginning, see sender's address. I have given arrow sign also, so that when you will be following this example, you can actually understand it properly. So see, it is given Punjabi Bagh, then it is written Allahabad, then obviously the date has been mentioned, and then designation and address of addressee, that is obviously the editor, the Indian Times, Allahabad. Then subject and statement has been mentioned. The subject is undue burden on school children. As I told you, a very important socially relevant topic it is. Now, how to start this particular socially relevant topic? Obviously, the typical way, through the columns of your esteemed daily, or else you can change it a bit and you can write through the columns of your widely circulated daily. I would like to draw the attention of the authorities to the burden of the heavy bags that young children carry to school, the burden of education, the burden of heavy bags with all the books and other academic necessities that young children from a very young age they carry to school. It is a pity, it is really a shame that tiny kids carry a heavy load on their shoulders. The load is uncalled for on their little shoulders. They don't deserve it at a young age. This is totally unethical. In fact, the load is more than their physical strength. The load, the burden of the books, in comparison to their physical strength, it is more than that. It is even difficult at times to mount the bus. It is not possible also to mount the bus also. It is very difficult also to get on the bus with heavy books on one shoulder. In this day, when imparting education is not solely dependent on books and notebooks, solely means entirely, it makes it all the more redundant for children to carry heavy bags. Now, this is totally harmful. This is totally against the free flow academic nature. It is totally distorting the academic activities or habits of our children. From a young age, they are carrying heavy bags for education. Modern psychologists have evolved games and methods of stress free learning without books. Now these are the solution, and obviously you have stated the problem. Now you are moving on to the solution or some of the remedial measures that can be implemented. So let me continue with this. Modern psychologists have evolved games and methods of stress free learning without books. This ought to be coupled with the optimum use of computers. All this needs to be incorporated to lessen their burden. Obviously, a stress free learning system can be implemented. Then obviously internet online teaching can be implemented as we are going through right now. Optimum use of computers is also there, and all these things can be incorporated to lessen the burden of carrying heavy load of all those academic supplements and books on the shoulders. And from a young age, it is very painstaking and equally unethical and very painful also. But the children, unfortunately, they are doing it. But we have to change this particular framework of education. Tangible changes in the techniques of imparting education will go a long way in helping these little children. So ultimately, innovative way of education ultimately will help these young children a lot. And finally, see subscription and name, yours truly. Then obviously you can write the name that will be given in the question. Now I am moving on to another important topic: inadequate supply of water. Very important. See, here also I have given arrow sign, as you can see, so that you can remember that which thing should be written after which part. Step by step, if you remember, there won't be any problem whatsoever. So at the very beginning, again the sender's address been mentioned, 7 Club Road, Hyderabad. then date has been mentioned, then obviously designation of the receiver, in this case it is the editor, so it is written the editor, the Hyderabad Times, post box 350, Hyderabad 1. Okay, now obviously the salutation part has to be written, so sir is written. Now the subject of the statement, inadequate supply of water. Now how to start? Through the medium of your newspaper, I would like to draw the attention of the civic authorities to the bad quality, not only the bad quality but also the inadequate supply of tap water in our locality. Bad quality and obviously inadequate supply of tap water in our locality. Now this is the subject statement. Now you will be highlighting the problem. You introduced yourself, along with that you introduced the topic on which you are about to discuss at length. Now in the next paragraph you will be discussing about the problem at length in an extended way, in an elaborate manner. You will be now discussing about the problem. It is unfortunate that the civic authorities do not care to provide citizens with even the basic necessities or the basic amenities. Actually, dear students, the meaning of amenities is necessities, such as proper and adequate water supply. In our locality, water is supplied only for an hour in the morning. For the rest of the day the taps remains dry, so for only 1 hour in the morning there is water. For the rest of the day there is unavailability of water, and basically the taps they remain dry. Also the quality of water supplied is extremely poor, it is not good. There have been some cases of diarrhea and dysentery, and obviously unfortunately we had suffered a lot. There was some health related issues or health related problems like dysentery and diarrhea. It is feared that these diseases may break out in an epidemic form if the quality of water is not improved. Now it is high time that the municipal authorities should take care of this. If the quality of water is not improved, then obviously the diseases can take an epic form. It can increase in proportion, and then the matter can be very serious. So now only effective measures should be taken. Desired future course of action. What is the desired future course of action? This has to be mentioned, because you not only you will be highlighting the problem, at the same time you will be stating the remedy also related with the problem. It is hoped that instead of ignoring the matter, the authorities concerned will take immediate steps to ensure adequate supply of good quality tap water in our locality. Now that is the remedy, that the authorities concerned should take immediate measures, should take immediate steps to ensure that proper supply of good quality of tap water in our locality is very much necessary, and that has to be done. And finally yours faithfully, then obviously you can write your name. That is the subscription and the signature part. Now I am moving on to another important topic. As you can see in front of you, it is related with the poaching of wildlife at Jim Corbett National Park. It is also a very important, very important topic. As usual, you know by this time sender's address is there. Then obviously the editor, the Hindustan Times, the Kasturba Gandhi Marg, New Delhi, all those things have been mentioned. Then see arrow sign I have put, so that step by step you can follow it properly. Then obviously the salutation has been given, followed by the subject of the letter. And obviously the subject of the letter, it is to be in one line, in one given sentence. Okay, that will give an indication to the readers what exactly you are about to write, or rather to say on which topic exactly you are about to write. With reference to the news report, inactive police leave field wide open for forest mafia or forest poachers, we can say, dated 20th August. Then obviously a year can be specified in this manner. I was horrified to read that the wildlife mafia have succeeded in penetrating the very heart of the Corbett National Park, because you are writing this letter after reading a very horrific or scary report related with the poachers invading the Corvette National Park. You have read about this in the newspapers. Based on that particular news, you are writing this letter to the editor. The killing of one more tusker brings the death toll to 5 tuskers in less than 2 months, because obviously it has been reported in that particular news. So based on that, you are writing this letter. All indications point to the possibility that the police is either hand in glove with the poachers or is doing precious little to trace them. Now, two things can be there: either the police is in friendship with the poachers, or maybe they are doing little in this regard. They should be very serious before it turns out to be quite harmful. Spiraling pieces of ivory and the fact that the Indian ivory, being softer, fetches a higher price in the international market had led to these gruesome killings. Gruesome killings of elephants and taking out their tuskers. The demand for ivory comes in from China and Japan, and basically the demand for ivory, it comes from China and Japan. The government, now the important thing is that now the what can be done, what can be the remedial measures, that has to be written properly. And remember, whatever you should write, logically it should follow the division, the three main division that is related with the body of the letter: the first paragraph, second paragraph, and obviously the conclusion that is related with the third paragraph. The now the remedy, remember one thing: not only highlighting of the problem will make the letter perfectly correct. It is not like that. You have to give some remedy also. So see, it is written: the government needs to increase awareness among buyers. I also suggest poachers, when caught, should be imprisoned for life. They should be imprisoned for life. They should not be released from the jail. They should be put behind the bars forever. One only hard steps and awareness drives will help check this problem. Hard steps must be taken, strict measures must be taken, otherwise this problem may move on to an alarming proportion. That has to be done. Strict measures must be taken to stop this as soon as possible. Then obviously, if the name is mentioned in the question, you have to mention that name. Now I am moving on to another topic. Now this is related with the rash driving on the crowded road. Very important and very socially relevant topic also. So as usual, the sender's address, the date, the editor's address been mentioned, the name of the newspaper I haven't mentioned. You can mention the name of the newspaper like the Hindustan Times, the Times of India. Now the subject that has been mentioned: rash driving on the crowded road. Now salutation, definitely it is to be written sir, then it has to be followed. Through the columns of your esteemed newspaper, I would like to express my concern over the problem of rash driving on the crowded roads of our city. So at the very beginning, you are introducing the problem, what the problem is actually. Every day we read about a number of accidents that take place on the roads of the city. Number of accidents occurs every day. Some accidents are very serious, some are very fatal, life threatening. Uh, the reason for these accidents is rash driving. The only reason is rash driving. The minors, they are driving motor cars and vehicles without a license permit, and they are also not eligible to ride or drive, but still they are doing it. So this should be stopped. Drivers of vehicles do not care for the speed limit. Even the experienced drivers, even the drivers who drive the vehicles, they hardly care for the speed limit. They don't care for the speed limit at all. Everyone seems to be in great hurry. Yes, everyone, each and everyone seems to be in great hurry. Young men on their bikes and cars drive recklessly. Speed thrills them. Most drivers do not follow the traffic rules. Even something nowadays, people are all obsessed with high speed. Speed thrills everyone, and most drivers, they do not follow the traffic rules. They do not bother also about the speed limit on busy roads. Even the drivers, they don't bother about the speed limits on the busy roads. They drive recklessly. Now, what can be done? What is the final remedy? The concerned authorities should take urgent steps, because, as I told you, that after citing the problem, after highlighting the problem, you have to mention the remedial measures also. What can be done? As a responsible, concerned citizen, you should give out some remedial measures that can be followed. So, the concerned authorities should take urgent steps to check this problem. More police constables should be posted at different place points, or rather to say at different places. Rash drivers should be penalized heavily. Those who actually are involved in rash driving, they should be penalized. I mean, fine should be taken. A lump sum amount of money should be taken from them, or rather to say, they should be penalized heavily. And now, thanking you, yours faithfully, then the name, whatever name is given in the question, you can mention that name. Now, another important topic, very, very important topic, that is the ban on polybags. This is very important. Now, similarly, here also, the sender's address, the date, the designation, those things are to be mentioned, as you can see here. Then, obviously, the main subject, you have to write about the main subject, that is the ban on polybags, and after that you have to start with the letter. See, it is written, I totally agree with the views published in the article ban polybags. That means this newspaper, the opinion related with the newspaper can be related to either a newspaper report, or it can be related to a newspaper article. Here it is related with a newspaper article. It is the fact that polybags are very harmful due to their non biodegradable nature. They can't be burnt also. If they are burnt, then they turn more poisonous, and obviously it can affect the air pollution, the pollution level also. And another important thing is that they are not destroyed also properly. They don't decompose, and it is very harmful for the cattle also. Instead, they choke the drainage system. Most cattle, most animals, most cattle, as I was mentioning about it, eat them and die in the long run. Now this is very important. Now they are ignorant of this, the cattle, the animals, so they consume those those polybags, those plastics, and ultimately they die in the long run. If they are burnt, their obnoxious smell pollutes the atmosphere. I was talking about the air pollution. Now if they are burnt, obviously, then their obnoxious smell pollutes the entire atmosphere. So now the last paragraph, there should be some remedial measures that as a concerned citizen, you are very much concerned about it, and you will be mentioning it. I request the people at large, in their interest and in the interest of Mother Earth, to wake up to this problem. Everyone should stop using polybags. Yes, everyone should not use polybags. Instead, they should use cloth bags or jute bags. So finally, after writing it, then you can write thank you or thanking you, yours truly. Then obviously a name will be given. You have to mention that name. Now I am moving on to another very, very important topic. It's a science related topic. It is related with evoking awareness towards solar energy. Solar energy is a natural form of energy, and obviously this energy can be used for many purposes. So this particular editorial letter is related to that. So obviously the date, the editor, those things obviously you will be mentioning. Now the subject, as you know, it is related with evoking awareness towards solar energy. Now how will you start, and what exactly will you write? Sir, through the columns of your reputed newspaper, typical way of starting an editorial letter, I wish to make the people aware of the growing need and demands of solar power. Yes, that means as a concerned citizen, it is your motto that you wish to make the people aware of the growing need and obviously demands of solar power. We all know that our earth is showing signs of a patient in declining health, and it is due to excessive pollution on our planet. Now, this is true that our earth is an ailing planet, and there are many examples that can be cited that actually shows that our planet is not healthy any longer. It is very much polluted. Excessive pollution is there, and that is the reason we can say planet earth is in declining health. Man has a desire to live a luxurious life, and for that reason he is over consuming electricity. Now man, we are nowadays are very much concerned about their luxury and comfort and coziness. As a result, they are consuming electricity, or rather to say over consuming electricity or consuming electricity in excess. He don't realize that overuse would exhaust the treasure. Now people don't realize because they are so much engrossed being in a very comfortable environment. They don't realize that overuse of electricity ultimately will exhaust the treasure. They don't realize about it. We must conserve electricity, which is the need of the hour. This is very important that we should actually conserve electricity. But this conservation can only be done if we start using solar power systems. Yes, if we start using solar power systems, then only this conservation of electricity can be possible in real life. Various kinds of solar systems like solar cookers, then solar lanterns, solar heating and cooking system, solar water heater, etc., available in the market. Now solar lanterns, solar heating, cooking, solar cookers, solar water heater, all these things are available in the market, and we can avail those things. These solar systems are non-polluting. They are non-polluting. They don't cause any pollution whatsoever. They are economical also and are available in different sizes. They are economical, so you don't have to pay a large amount of money in order to purchase those things, and most importantly they are available in different sizes also. So as a concerned citizens, you request your the editor to publish this letter in his editorial column or in his newspaper. Why? What will be the main motive? What will be the main purpose of his publishing your letter in his editorial column? Obviously the simple reason is to make people aware of the need of conserving electricity, and also on I mean putting a check on the sky high electricity bills that can be put a I mean that oh, I mean restriction can be put on it. Public must pay attention to the dire need of switching over to solar energy. Now this is very important. Public must pay attention to switching over to solar energy. Obviously conservation of energy can be done, and obviously not only that, even the electricity bills that are paid, it can be lowered also. Now finally thanking you, then you obviously you can mention the name, whatever name will be given in the question. Now this is very important, and the last one that I am about to discuss right now, it is about again it is also related with environment. It is about cleaning the Yamuna river. So again the same thing, the format and everything is same. As I told you, what you have to write step by step. By this time it should be very much clear to you, because this is the 11th slide that I am discussing. Already 10 slides been discussed, so more or less the concept regarding editorial letter must be very much clear to all of you. Now here it is regarding the need for people's movement for a clean Yamuna. The river bed is getting dirty or dirtier day by day, so Cleaning of Yamuna is a must. So this particular letter is written in that regard, and obviously it is written by a. You can mention a name if it is mentioned in the question. Then you can mention that name. If not, then you have to create a name on your own. Member of NGO Awaz. I am writing to you in order to highlight the deteriorating condition. Deplorable is the nearest meaning of deteriorating as the nearest synonym. Deplorable condition or deteriorating condition of river Yamuna. The city of Delhi is getting contaminated. Contaminated means polluted randomly from river Yamuna. The residents are to be blamed for this. They pollute the river with garbage, not only with garbage but also sewage and filth. Filthy products were also being thrown that actually harms the environment, particularly the aquatic environment. The river water is full of bacteria, plastic chemicals and other waste materials. It is unfit for consumption, and most important, it is not fit for consumption. It is totally unfit for consumption. The people have been demanding a water treatment plant. The authorities have not yet responded to the repeated requests. Now, people are demanding that the Yamuna water should be kept clean, water treatment plant should be installed, okay, near the river bed, but no such authorities are not at all interested in that. They have not yet responded. They have turned a deaf ear. They haven't responded at all. I request you to highlight, you means here it is referred to the editor, to highlight the problem in your newspaper, and not only that but also to arouse public interest also. We all need to get together because this is the problem by which we are all suffering. This is making us all to suffer. We all need to get together. We should all assemble together in order to get the plant set up in the area. Which plant? It is related with the water treatment plant. And finally, thanking you, yours sincerely. The name of that particular individual will be given in the question. Please copy that one. And obviously he was a member of the NGO Avas. That one you mention in the next line as been mentioned here. So dear students, please go through this editorial letter samples. Along with that, please go through the guidelines that I had discussed, and if there is any doubt anywhere, let me know about it. Thank you students. Thank you all.